What's going on, everyone? Sam Adams kind of morning? Nope, it's not morning. It's late afternoon. If you can't tell, I like Sam Adams. Star Collector to ring my phone. Scare my wife when I'm not home. Got a bum education, double-digit inflation. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here. So, what are we doing? Look, I'm back in the garage again. Shocking. Shocking. Are you guys surprised? I am. Nice. Hops. Can't beat it. So this Chariot, it's my 1995 Chevrolet Impala SS with the SS's. We're getting it ready for Hot Rod Power Tour. To put a sticker right underneath there, 23. And we're on to detailing. Most might think, well, why are you going to detail it? It's pretty dang shiny. It's pretty good. Well, yeah, it is. But what I want to do is if you look at the light, you can kind of see it's a little bit wavy. It's not very good. So that one, if you look closely, you can see all the junk that's in the paint, and it's very, very orange peely. What I'm going to do is kill a bunch of mosquitoes that are flying over. We're going to sand and buff the hood. Car's hood is the first spot you go when you look at it. And got a big, I don't know, looks like a chip that was painted over at some point. Yeah, right there you can get a good clear view of it. It's not very crystal clear mirror-like finished paint. So we're going to wet sand this thing down or dry sand it. I don't know yet. And I'm going to buff it out. I did do this spot right here years ago, and I took some of the peel off of it. I'm trying to see if you can see into there. But she needs it again. She needs it on the whole hood. I got lazy and didn't do the whole hood. Last year for Power Tour, I just took a foam pad polished the car up. Made it good for what it's worth, but this year I think I want to torture myself and at least wet sand the hood down. Also, if we get any more of these little chippy doodads, like that one, we'll try to address them and fix them. I think the hood's actually pretty good. I am going to do this a little bit different because compound sucks. I mean, it really sucks to get cleaned up. Cowl. It just sucks. So I'm going to backside tape this and then front side tape it. And we're going to put tape over the front of the windshield. We're going to do it like we should have done at the body shop. Now I'm just going to start with the hood. Probably top of the fenders. Side of the car right now, we're all right. You're not really going to notice anything else, but I just kind of want to see what it's going to turn out to be like. And I'm probably going to regret it while I'm at it. So, let's get into it. So you can go down to any Walmart store, whatever, get blue tape for painting a house, and get paper. Paper's really cheap. I used to think this stuff was really expensive. And the stuff that actually has the tape on the edge is for my rack that I converted into a welding / just collect on my junk cart. But this paper is actually relatively inexpensive. Tape, meh. For the 30 bucks you might spend on paper and tape to tape off something if you're going to paint it, probably well worth it the time you're going to invest in this versus cleaning up overspray and compound and everything else. So, before I do a hood, the right way, can't believe I'm actually saying the right way. We're gonna back tape the fender, the back side of the hood, and the other fender over there. This wider 2-inch tape. We're gonna put half of it across there. We're gonna leave the other exposed half sticky part exposed up. That way we can lay our paper across, stick it to tape that's exposed. If we got any open spots, we'll tape it up from there, but let's do the time lapse. Now the overall objective, like I mentioned, was to make sure that you got your cowl and everything all taped off on the back side here, and you got an overlap. You don't want to have the tape rolling up over this lip, because we're going to be buffing on that and we don't want to get it stuck on there. Any of these little spots, you can make sure to push down on the tape so it's on there, it doesn't come up. If you got to tape down some more areas, as you saw me do, tape it down. If we were painting this, would definitely put a double seam right along here and make sure that's taped off too, so overspray doesn't spray up to wherever. But since we're just trying to avoid compound getting on the cowl, I think overall that's going to be pretty darn good enough. So at this point, if you want to tape off any of your headlights or any of that kind of stuff, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to. I'm pretty confident I'm fine with these. You can even take them out if you really wanted to. Thing I worry about are emblems when I'm buffing. And then like the antenna thing here. Could take that out, but not going to. Probably actually just tape it off here while I'm got it, the tape handy. And then we're going to have this mark in here, and you can see it's been burned through from wheeling on it. And I don't want to burn through it anymore. So I am going to run a tape line across there just to make sure it doesn't receive any more damage, or whatever it does is minimal. So do that and we'll move on to sanding. So I can't stress this enough. If you're unsure that your paint is sandable, don't sand it, because you're probably going to burn through. If you don't want burn throughs, then don't. Test, if you're going to try it, test on a little remote spot where no one's going to see, like behind the wheel well or on the rocker or something. Test there before you start going right crazy on your hood. I know I got plenty of clear on the hood because I've sanded on it already in a little test spot. But if you don't know, just don't chance it. So that's going to lead us to your types of sanding you can do for buffing. You can get yourself a big old block, and you can put some wet sandpaper on there. Spray it down, wet sand it. Use a lot of manual labor. Back and forth, cross pattern. You'll probably get the best result that way. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with a DA. I got a DA with some Velcro side, and we're actually going to dry sand it. I have some 1500 grit and some 2000 grit. So we're going to knock it down with 1500 then 2000. If I was wet sanding, I would do the same thing. Probably wet sanding, I'd start with 1000 just to try to drag along, and then 1500. And then maybe 2000. You can get away with buffing out the paint at 1500 grit, but it's a lot easier and you get better results if you go up to 2000. So I'm going to start with 1500 on the DA, and then we're going to move on to 2000. I am going to try to work out some of these dirt nibs and paint fisheye things that have been bothering me for a while. Let me show you. Like that one right there. That's a good fisheye. Some dirt nibs right there. Another fisheye right there. I mean, my hood's been repainted before, probably from chips or whatever, and definitely it's got a little TLC. Now, you're not going to remove all that kind of stuff, all those blemishes, but you can definitely work them down. So somebody at the body shop did a pea pour spray on the front end of this car. So I'm going to get into DAing. I'm going to start in the middle, work my way a little square sections back and forth. And then when I'm done with the hood, I'll buff on it, see what it looks like. If I'm happy with that, then I'll move on to the fenders. Okay, so I got this Polish Well sanding pads, Velcro backing. Bought them off eBay, Amazon, a while ago. I don't know, 1,500 grit, and I got 2,000 grit. So we'll see how it tears up and cuts up. That might only be enough for the hood. That might be enough for the whole car. It just depends on how well manufactured these things are made. They seem to be do pretty well. I've used them on a couple other little things, but we'll get into it and try it. Right now, hope you enjoy the time lapse of me sanding this down and buffing. One spot you want to look out for, those are where those dirt nibs are, so I'm going to try to work those out. Some of these other spots, got some other ones there, but well, there it is, knocked down with 1,500. I was trying to say with the compressor running is, if you look closely, you can see where these dirt nibs and everything are. That's an actual chip that was painted over. That's another chip that was painted over. I can really feel that one. And you can see around it's smooth, but it's really divoted in there, so that's probably not going to come out. These dirt nibs, you can probably work at them a little bit more. We got some orange peel still through here that we got to sand off. Got a dirt nib right there. And a couple here and there. Fisheye right there, and that's where must have been an oily substance that landed on the clear coat, dropped on there, and then it just left like a fisheye. That's what they call it. All in all, pretty decent. Still a little rough up in here. I'm gonna probably knock that down just a hair more. Spots over here I don't really want to get into much, even though there are dirt nibs in there, because that'll be addressed with 2,000 grit. I might go after a couple more of these ones here. This is our repair from last year, that really nasty chip. Of course, that's not the greatest right now, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna knock this down with 2,000 grit. See some more chips over here and whatnot. And I'm probably not going to get too carried away, because I can start to feel when you start doing it long enough, your hands become callous to clear coat. You start noticing when clear's starting to get kind of thin and when it's not. So I think 2,000 grit, take care of the rest of it. Minus over there, I'm going to get it over there a little bit more with 1,500. And we should be good. So I'll be back with you guys when I'm ready to start wheeling. So anyway, 2,000 gritted it. Left some spots here. That's fine. Not really going to notice it. Yeah, Now you want to take your wool pad and your spur that you found over here in your non-spur collection of stuff. Where do I see that? Right here. Spur out your wool pad. Get on your compound and start buffing. Ready, go. Compound I got today, turtle wax. Mainly because I bought it when it was cheap. You can see this, keep the wool out of my lungs. I got enough of that. You can see it starting to grow on me. Time to buff. So that's what it's looking like with just the wool pad. Not bad. Little spot right there. I don't know if you can really see it in the light. I could see it where the DA drug across the paint and scratched. So trying to dig that out a little bit. A couple more up in there. You can see them just a little bit. Those will come out. But yeah, I'll be happy with that. We'll see what it looks like when it polishes up. Anyways, after multiple compounds, the actual McGuire's compound, she didn't really do what I wanted to. I was left with curly Qs or quote unquote half moons. These scratch and swirl remover by Turtle Wax, that didn't work. Actually, I had to get the 3M headlight renew, a little bit more of a grittier compound, and we got them. We got them all out. So I'm gonna pause here for the night. I think I've heated this hood up very much. Blow it off next time I get out here, probably tomorrow. Yeah, I got some. I don't know if you can see it right there. See them? A couple swirl mark scratches I gotta take and get out of there. But that'll be for tomorrow's project. Right now, I'm whooped. And I need a beer. Oh, I got one right there. See you tomorrow. Well, it is in fact not the next day. It is, I think, 4 days later. Yeah. Had to work. Kind of did some stuff around the house. Really didn't feel like working on automotive stuff, but out of work today. Got back into buffing on this hood of this Impala. Not gonna lie. Once the hood is all buffed out, I might do the top of the fenders to make it blended in. Not doing much more than that. Because it has just been fighting me. So let me go into what I'm talking about here. So this is just with wool pad. And actually the compound I'm using is headlight renewal stuff. It's more abrasive. It's compound. That's all it is. But it's more abrasive. Reason for it, that McGuire's compound, you know, it says compound, really wasn't working. Scratch and swirl remover by Turtle Wax is more of a, you know, light scratch removal. And then, of course, that's some more headlight renewal stuff that I was using just in a different bottle. Reason why we had to go so deep on it was because when we DA'd it, DA was dragging scratches and I had little swirl marks, half moons in the paint, as you guys saw. And I've been going through digging them out. And the only thing that actually digs them out is a wool pad in a scratchier compound. Like right here, right there, you might not be able to see it with the light. Maybe you do. I don't know. You can kind of see it there. Now, those are what I've been fighting. So if you don't take those out now, you're going to see them in the finished product. So what I've been doing is, you can see the lights reflecting off of the hood here. Like I'll start down here and I'll just go up a little section, move over with the light and see every single little spot. I had another light I was kind of using to kind of hold it like a wand, but this works just as fine, just as easy. So I can see one I missed right there. And let's see if you guys can see that on the screen. Maybe if I go slow enough, focus. Now maybe seems like the other fluorescent lights seem to capture it a little bit better. But anyways, people might not notice that. I notice that, okay? And I want you to just be like, oh, it's pretty nice paint you got on here. Not, oh, look at those, look at those, look at those. That's not how I detail cars. So I had to go deeper, and I'm already going to have that because I got these paint chips that were painted over, and I tried digging them out, but I don't want to dig them too much because I don't want to burn the paint and blah, 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 blah. Detailing. Ugh. Glad I don't do this for a living anymore. Anyways, so I'm going to get this back to whatever. I'm going to set you guys up on a time lapse. I got to figure out where to set you because my tripod's currently watering the lawn. But I'll figure out something and we'll put you on a time lapse. Okay, you're up there. I'm going to get back to it. Well, you just saw I just got this half. And yeah, it's dusty. You can only see so much. You can only see where you're buffing and then it's cleaning up. And then once it's cleaned up from the dust, then you can get in there close and see if you got any scratches or whatever. But don't be afraid to critique yourself. Yeah. If you see something screwed up, just go back after it. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab my air gun. I'm going to blow off all this dust. I'm actually going to grab my foam pad. And I haven't decided yet which one of those two, the Turtle Wax or the Meguiar's, I'm going to use for scratch remover. But I'm going to foam pad it. And as I'm going along, if I see something that I don't like that I need to dig in there more, I'll switch back to my wool pad in that deeper compound and we'll dig it out and keep going. Just work little areas and eventually you'll get the whole thing. So yeah, a lot of things too, I guess really quick that I'll note is, let me show you here. See that zigzag line right there? Yeah, that's because I left compound down there. Now, over here, you can kind of somewhat see it, but it's not as bad. If you don't do anything to clean that off or you just wax over it, you're going to see swirl marks in the sun. That's a no-no. So what I like to do to eliminate swirl marks. Of course, hit it like I did with the wool pad, polish it up, and I just polish it till the paint is, she's pretty darn shiny. Keep working at it. This is actually probably needs some more work, but I'm gonna try to see what I can get with the foam pad. But just keep working at it. And once you get the paint like really super shiny and there's like no compound, no residue or anything on there, and it doesn't look like it has very many swirl marks in it, it doesn't. Like this, there'd be a big swirl mark right there and right there, because what you're doing is swirling, and they're little scratches, as you can see. They're little scratches. So you got to get them out. You got to polish them out. If you're like in this predicament and you can't get them all with your wool pad because you're lazy like me, foam pad it with some compound, get them all off of there. Really take your time with the polish and polish the living piss out of it. Make it like a bowling ball surface. You do that, I guarantee you won't have any swirl marks. If you do, you didn't do it long enough. Ask me how I know. Okay, back in the time lapse. I needed refreshment for whatever night this is. Beer. I'm telling you, I need beer. Well, you just stand back from a distance. It don't look that bad. Not happy about some stuff. Whatever. Those are the little marks I left from polishing. If you don't remove those, you'll have swirl marks too, but all in all, not bad. You did see me go after a spot over here. Again with the wool pad, and most part and the light, I got her. There's a spot right there. You can kind of see those little boop boop boops right there. I could go after them again. I'm not going to, because of course that's the old chip. It's got compound in it. We got little nicks and dings and scratches in it anyway, but I'm going to call this good enough because quite honestly I'm sick of buffing. And, you know, giant fisheye from the paint. Right there, see it? Yeah, you can see it. So that's the correct way to do all that. The next step would actually be grab polish, foam pad it again with polish, which we're gonna do. However, I'm to the point now where I'm gonna foam pad compound probably the entire car just to get a nice clean look on it, so everything matches, so the hood's just not shiny. So we're all good to go there. And just so we know what we're looking at when we get done, you can see how straight the light is over here versus how wavy it is over here, how orange peel it is. So yeah, you can make cars look like a mirror, and it doesn't take a whole lot of work. Another thing I say before I get into what I'm going to do here. if you're doing any of this kind of work, it's going to take a long time. Preferably do it in a garage, someplace cool, out of the sun. Don't do it in the sun, because you start sanding on the clear coat in the sun, you're gonna let the UV rays get in there, and it's not good. And then the compound, it dries, and it's just harder, and it's more of a mess. Do it someplace cool in a garage, someplace like that, and plan to have compound for years. No matter what, you're gonna just be like, why am I wiping compound out of here? Oh, because you can detail the living hell out of everything, clean it up, pressure wash it. That compound is like wet pancake batter that's dried on a countertop. It don't come off, and you find it everywhere for years to come. Do your best. Well, good morning. We're on to the next day. I got the fenders and bumper done. I was doing some other little odds and ends with the car. So now this side's done too. I'm gonna go through. We're going to polish up the rest of the car right now. Okay. So now I got that front end done, as I just mentioned. I'm gonna foam pad with compound, rest of the car. What that's gonna do is if there's any other little scratches, like light ones, it'll take them off. Swirl marks, polish those up, and then we will polish the whole car again. Time lapse. As you guys saw, I just went through, of course, the sides. They just got a quick whoop, because all I was going for there was just to kind of clean up any junk, or if I found any scratches that were deep, I'd go after them, and I didn't really find any, but good enough. And of course, the roof, I'm not doing the roof. I hate buffing roofs, and I ain't doing it. So we did that with the yellow foam pad, which there's all different types of pads, but you don't want to use this one for your polish. I mean, you can, but you're going to have that compound in there that's gritty, and you're not going to get the gloss finish that you do. So get a different foam pad. This one I use, and actually it's a little bit more worn and it's flatter. If you look at the bumps, they're a little bit more, I don't know, they're more surface area, I guess, we'll use for foam padding. And the polish that we're going to use, I guess at this point you can use pretty much any kind of polish you want. I have this Meguiar's polish. It's about half. It's what I used last time. It's okay. You can use wax, carnauba wax. You can use that. I have some Zurich paint sealer renewer. I don't know. And then I also have, of course, Rain-X spray wax was clearance that I bought last year, and I don't know, seems to be like the spray-on type wax. I'm actually going to use a spray-on wax because it's more liquidy, I guess. And what you're after is a polish that's not gritty. Now remember, you're cutting the clear coat, and the grittier it is, the deeper you're going to, cut stuff and you're going to make scratches. You're trying to eliminate those scratches. So we're to the point now we want to polish the paint up to a shiny, shiny, shiny. So either use a true polish or use something that's not very super gritty. So I'm going to fire up the compressor. I'm going to blow off the car, get the majority of the dust off, get as much off as you can. Probably would be wise to wash it so you don't drag dirt and swirl it around and be like, oh, crap. I'm not going to. I'm just going to blow it off. Start polishing and back at it. Well, there's that Rain-X polish. Little square. It didn't give me the results that I wanted. I'm not happy with that. Just kind of smears around, doesn't really do anything, and not going to use it. I'm going to do the Meguiar's polish and polish her up. There it is. That's just polished. And then wipe down with a rag. Not bad. The Meguiar's came through. It did get a little oily, spattery. That's why I wiped it down, but not too shabby, if I must say. Of course, chips are showing. And I missed a little curly Q spot right there. You can kind of see it. But, oh well. So I'm going to go through, polish up the rest of the car. Then we're going to wash it. After we wash it, then we wax it. And that's how I get to where I get to. Okay. Well, polished. Bumper, hood, down the sides. That part. I didn't do lowers. Did the pillars all the way around. The whole quarter, rear end, deck lid, spoiler. Just been going through, cleaning up little marks like that with a rag. And yeah, she's all pretty. Last thing I did here was I got the rims polished up. This side I did a couple videos ago, but I finished them up. So they're all polished up. Polished, 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 polished. Man, that look on that car. But that is going to end this video. I got another detail video that'll be starting shortly. Getting this thing all detailed up. But that's how you polish and buff and cut, sand. What else do we do in this video? Polish, buff, buff some more. Buff, buff, buff. Yeah. So, hope everyone liked this. I know kind of a longer video with all the polishing and whatnot, but that's what you got to do when you want your car to have, the mirror shine finish. Man. So, thanks again for watching. Please like, subscribe, share this video, comment below. If you got ideas, suggestions on polishing, buffing, any other ideas, something I'm not doing, let me know. I'm always interested in detailing. See you next time.